Oh, we got to play this, right? Yeah, hold on. I forgot.
Welcome to CSF Late Night.
Clemson Nation, we represent all in.
We're the little old Clemson. Well, LSU fan came stuck his flag in my booty.
Roll Black, what? Fuck you.
Roll Tide! Roll, baby!
Oh, bitch.
Are you that stupid?
Yes, I am.
I'm not going to sugarcoat things. It's a fucking shit.
And welcome in to CSF Late Nights. I'm Rob Sanders, coming to you from the land of Columbia, South Carolina, where we're supposed to be like getting beat down by like a hurricane, but I'm not feeling it.
More like Miami.
Yeah, I mean it's not really lighting me up like a Christmas tree down here. I'm just being honest with you. So anyway, there we go. Now I can hear myself in my headset. Imagine that. Anyway, the hurricane, tropical storm, whatever the blue fuck you want to call it, I will be doing live on-air reports tonight about all of the wonderful tropical storm damage that is here. I want to bring into the program my two co-hosts. We'll start with the man that is the sloppy party bottom. He is Super Dave. Super Dave is sick this evening, right, Super Dave?
Wrong. It's side effects from my COVID vaccination.
Okay. Well, special music for sick Super Dave.
You have AIDS. Yes, you have AIDS. I hate to tell you, boy, that you have AIDS.
You got the AIDS.
You may have caught it when you stuck that filthy needle in here.
Or maybe all that unprotected sex put you here.
It isn't clear, but what we're certain of is you
Have AIDS.
Yes, you
Sing
have
it, no.
HIV,
But full-blown
AIDS.
I don't know.
Make sure that you see that this is not HIV. But full-blown AIDS.
HIV, but really
Full-blown AIDS.
Sorry, I wish it was something less serious.
But it's AIDS.
You've got the AIDS.
There you go. So special music for Average Dave, who's sick this
I like
evening.
how it ends like a barbershop quartet.
Exactly. I wish I could carry those notes, but I can't. Also joining the show up top there in his room of many things, many teams. He is the Gnome. What's up, Gnome?
I do not have AIDS. I have beat the AIDS.
Yeah. You kicked the shit out of Magic Johnson. He gave you the cure.
That's right. That's right.
You want to have some fun?
It took him years.
Yeah. If you want to have some fun, maybe we talked about this before, but every time Magic Johnson tweets anything, it could be glad to be out at the new Starbucks opening in West Los Angeles or whatever the blue fuck Magic Johnson tweets. There's always like the first 15 responses are, give up the cure, Magic. It's real. Stop holding out on the AIDS cure. Anyway, welcome to the show this evening. I don't know how long Average Dave is going to be with us tonight because Average Dave looks like he's not feeling well, and I want him to do the show, but if he's sick, he needs to get his rest. I know, but your children were in the World Series and they're 2-0 today, so that's a good thing.
Yep. 2 more games tomorrow, and then we'll start back to play.
That's the crazy thing. Imagine if you were at 100%. If Coach was at 100%, they would be just walloping everybody.
I hope so.
You will be that way when y'all play Texas.
When you play that Texas team.
I can't tone it down though when I'm out on a field. Like even if I feel terrible, I will put on the best facade I can, and I'll go out there and play.
Andre says you're below average, Dave, tonight. Ouch. No, there is no what's the term I'm using here? There is no sympathy from our listeners. Show up,
It's okay.
asshole.
Because even below average Dave is still a notch above average Andre. So
Yeah. Fighting words.
Call the show now at 803-470. The tropical storm Elsa. By the way, my dog's name is Elsa. No joke.
you want to
Well,
build the snowman?
Yeah, I want to build a snow. That's what they named her after. Was the whole thing from fucking
I mean,
Frozen?
as soon as that they showed what that storm's name was gonna be, I mean, that's all I've been seeing for like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I like you guys know I'm cutting weight for this competition that I'm in. I have to eat bullshit food, so I'm drinking. I can't have a beer like a fucking regular guy anymore.
Oh,
a couple weeks
don't
anyway.
worry, I've been drinking the 2-for-1s.
I'm drinking sparkling ice. All I need is a vanilla scented candle and a dick to suck on, and I'll be good to go. In addition to that, I'm eating Quest protein chips, which no, real people can have fucking Doritos, not you, Rob, you fat bastard. You eat your protein chips that have 2 net carbs and all this fucking protein in them.
Dude, those are so fucking awesome. The white
These
cheddar.
are amazing.
I love Cheez-Its, but I found Cheez-It Grooves the other day, like 3-4 weeks ago. Man, those are fucking good.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not fucking Rob over here.
I mean,
can
Glad
eat
you're not fucking Rob either. Rob's probably glad you're not fucking Rob.
fuck, yeah, you're right about that. I'm eating this fucking hogwash shit. Fuck me in the face. All I'm eating is chicken and spinach and shit too. It's fucking terrible, my existence right now.
Have some broccoli.
Right.
I had chicken and collards, and I really like the collards. I gotta admit that. I'm not really into the green beans. Kind of suck. I'm supposed to eat tilapia, but I don't like tilapia. I think I told my wife I think that's a fake fish, and she Googled it and said I was wrong. I hate it when my wife makes me feel stupid.
Well,
Generally, whenever I speak, though,
I'll go ahead and say this: tilapia is not a fake fish, and if you get tilapia, farm raised tilapia from a proper country, it is actually a really good fish.
well, I'm not eating that shit. How's that sound?
I love
Fuck
redfish.
you and your fake fish. I'm not eating that shit. Eat that shit. Fuck all that.
We eat the fuck out of catfish, and man, they eat their own shit.
Yeah, I don't eat catfish either. Fucking sucking, bottom dwelling, fucking ass eating fish. Catfish eat
They're
ass.
okay.
They really do.
But they're really tasty.
Some blackened redfish or some fried.
Is that
redfish.
because they eat ass? Is that why catfish tastes good? I'm not eating any of that shit.
I don't care why they taste good. I'm just saying they taste good.
I'm eating my protein chips. I'm wanting some Doritos, but no, sir, no Doritos for you, Rob. Yep. We'll see how long I hold out on this. I think the over and under, I think, is like 4 days. We'll find out. The wife's behind me though. She helped me with my stuff, so that's good. I may put my food plan out there. That way you guys can laugh at me a little bit. I'll eat the collard greens over and over and over again. By the way, what?
So we laugh at you anyway.
Yeah.
803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. Did someone share this in the Facebook group? I hope so. Go over there and add it in the Facebook group so we can have some folks join us here. I had some topics.
You want me to go at it? You want me to go at it?
Yeah. Why don't you go do that? Oh, Andre said he says he's drinking sparkling ice lemonade or sparking ice. Is that?
I mean, I could give it a try.
I'm drinking Mike's hard lemonade.
Yeah, he's driving. Let him be.
Yeah.
Let him be. Let him be.
No added sugars. Fuck me in the mouth.
They don't add sugars to Doritos either.
I want to go and get like a big bag of sugar and just pour it on top of these. Be like, ha, fuck you. I added sugar.
It's like eating Rice Krispies or Cheerios and just fucking putting like 3 tablespoons full of fucking sugar on it.
Yeah.
it remains healthy.
All right. Tonight on the show, we do have some sports topics. We're going to talk about
interesting.
a crawfish company needs to sponsor some LSU players for the NIL. Good point. I always thought we would talk about the two programs, the one in the East and the one in the SEC West, that had the biggest had to have their big improvement this year, meaning they got the biggest chip on their shoulder, the most to prove. I'm going to start with in the East, and I'm going to go with the Georgia Bulldogs simply because Georgia has top 5 talent, but they've got a 10-cent head coach, and Will Muschamp is on the staff. But I think that Georgia fan base is getting just a little bit tired of Kirby Smart. Just a little bit. Maybe just,
Are you sending this from your Clemson, Georgia Facebook group?
Oh, well, yeah, those fucking people. Are you out of your mind?
I like it.
Oh. By the way, stick around for later. I had a Georgia fan message me through the iHeart app and basically cuss me up one side and down the other. Stick around, Alabama fans, because he lambasted the Alabama fans too, saying the only reason you have national championships is because you cheat.
So
there's that.
So
we'll get to that later. But you guys agree in the East is Georgia, or do you have somebody else?
Yeah, well, let's go here. I mean, we know Georgia's in there, but you have to put Florida in there, and I think you have to put Tennessee in there. And for the different fan bases, I think they feel like they have the. In fact, I think of all the fan bases, Georgia fans feel like they have the least to improve upon or prove because they already think they're there. That being said, Florida is the one that has not been winning the East. Georgia has. Florida
won the East last year, sir.
Okay, we don't count the COVID season.
Rob's freezing.
Rob is freezing.
Am I freezing now?
No, now you're not.
Great. All right. Well, I mean, so we don't count the COVID season. Okay.
Okay, we can count the COVID season. Okay, but all right, over the last decade, I mean, I still think Florida has as much to prove as Georgia does, and all that Tennessee wants to do. If I'm a Tennessee fan, I've been pretty goddamn disappointed. There's nobody else in the East that gives a fuck.
Of course, you're disappointed if you're a Tennessee fan, but I mean, Tennessee's been a joke since Phil Fulmer got
2000.
Yeah.
I mean,
how about that?
20 years of irrelevance if you're Tennessee. I mean, yeah, they've got something to prove, I guess, but nobody expects anything out of them because you haven't gotten anything out of them.
Whereas, I mean, ultimately, go ahead.
Whereas Georgia, you expect them to do something, and then they just disappoint you every year, and it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, they don't disappoint me.
Ultimately, they disappoint their fans every year.
Ultimately, Rob was correct by saying Georgia. I mean, I just wanted to throw those other two teams in there. I mean, there are other teams that want to and need to prove themselves, but yeah, Georgia is definitely the number one team that needs to prove themselves out of the East.
All right, so let's look at it from this perspective. Since 2010, we'll get a 10-year window here. Your SEC East champion.
Look like they're just drying your mouth the fuck out.
They are. It's fucking terrible. Fucking terrible. Don't ever get to be a fat fuck, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard as fuck to get rid of that shit. Got to eat fucking hog mess. It's fucking horrible. Don't ever do that shit. If you can look like you've got AIDS, fucking get AIDS and get skinny. There you go. Anyway, in 2010, the South Carolina Gamecocks were your East champion. Georgia won it 2 years, 11 and 12. Missouri won it 2 years, 13 and 14. So Florida won it 2 years after that. So that means that they're tied in that same decade at 2 apiece. Then Georgia won 3 more. So they have a 3-game lead. Then Florida won it last year. So there's Florida. Georgia's got a 2 in the past 10 seasons. They've won 2 more SEC East titles than the Florida Gators.
All right.
So there's that. Just putting that out there. I don't think people expect as much out of Florida as they do Georgia. I mean, they've got so much with the Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, JT Daniels is a Heisman Trophy candidate. They've got supposedly an all-world running back and a defense that Phil Steele said is the 3rd best in the country. They got all this great shit, but Kirby Smart can't seem to get the job done. And I don't give a shit what anybody says. You can recruit to the cows come home, but if you don't fucking win, no one gives a shit.
I'd rather see Florida do better. We get to play them every year. I'd rather see Florida do better.
But I mean, do they have the most pressure in the East?
No. Probably Georgia.
Yeah.
Amongst us all talking Georgia. I mean, amongst the fan base, obviously everybody fan base gives their own team pressure. But
right.
Yeah.
So we can agree that it's Georgia in the East, and if we all are together. My team in the West, and I might catch some shit for this. My team in the West is LSU. I think that they're the team that has to do the most. And I know that there's going to be LSU fans that are going to bitch when they see this tomorrow. And you're a rational LSU fan, Super Dave. I'm talking about the irrational motherfuckers.
What's do the most?
Well, they.
I mean, you won a national championship and then you went 5-5.
Right.
You had a couple of nice wins to end out to finish 500, but I mean, you looked like you got caught with, your dick in your hand.
I mean,
national championship.
Here's my. I wrote this
LSU
the other day that I'm going to post later on, but LSU last season had one of the worst pass defenses in the country with 2 All-American defensive backs.
Yes.
That is unfucking fathomable. How in the blue fuck do you have 2 guys that are legitimately, and I'm no LSU fan, let me make sure I put that out there.
Could be the top 2.
You have 2 guys that are All-American defensive backs, and you have the worst pass defense, or one of the worst pass defenses in the country.
Stingley
That makes absolutely no sense. So
here's
if you can't pressure the opposing quarterback, then it doesn't matter what you got on the back end.
On the outside looking in, if LSU goes 11-1 and loses to Alabama, outside looking in, great. Inside looking in, very, 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 very fucking disappointing. So
at 11-1, 11-1's disappointing.
No.
I want to beat Alabama every year.
Everybody wants to beat Alabama. Join the fucking club. Yeah.
But if your only loss is to Alabama, I don't hate that.
I didn't say hate. I said disappointed.
I'm not disappointed either.
I'm fine with 11-1. I mean, that's far cry from 5-5. But I'm not super happy.
Here's the thing that I believe: if LSU goes 11-1 and the only loss is to Alabama, they'll get another shot at them.
I can believe that. You're right, because the SEC dominates.
Now, I think that I don't. The reason that I say that is because, everybody talks about Ohio State being great and everything, but Ohio State's replacing a lot. Now, I know they play in the piece of shit Big Ten, where they're going to have an opportunity to do. Their schedule really isn't tough in the Big Ten. There are some good teams in the Big Ten, but
could this be the year that Harbaugh finally beats the Ohio State?
No.
Immediately dismisses. No.
Yes.
I got a better chance of dunking on Shaq without a trampoline. Seriously,
Well,
Harbaugh's a hole.
Without changing the subject too much, I mean, who has higher expectations? Georgia, LSU, or Michigan?
Not
Now,
Michigan.
there's a big
They-
difference between expectations of the fan base and expectations of the country. We all know Michigan's a joke, just like we know Notre Dame's a joke. But fucking
but
Michigan.
When I look at Georgia and I see the talent that they have on that roster, they should be competing for a national title. They should.
Sure.
I
mean,
As a program like Michigan, they're not pulling down a top 5 recruiting class every year.
No, they're not. I'm not buying that at all. I'm in the camp, though, that I think that when I really step back and look at it, I think that Georgia's biggest issue is their coach. I firmly believe that. And, and I think that going into this year, to pivot back, they're banking on Eric Gilbert replacing the guy that messed up his knee. Can't remember his name. Pickens. They think Eric Gilbert, a tight end, is going to replace in the receiving department the All-American Pickens. They think Georgia fans realistically think that. Okay, now we know, because we followed this last season, and Andre, you can call, sir. Sorry about that. The phone lines are open, 803-470-2905. We know that Eric Gilbert is a head case. And I don't like talking bad about kids, but he's a fucking head case.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he's going to react going to Georgia.
And
he reminds me a lot of that running back recruit that was all over the place, and I don't even know where he ended up, but he was like a 5-star running back recruit. He was committed here and I think he was committed to Clemson at one point, then he was committed to LSU, and then he was I don't even know where the kid ended up.
He might be committed, period.
Welcome to the program. Good evening, caller.
Wow. You hurt my feelings, man.
I didn't know it was you, sir. I could have been anybody.
Cry.
But welcome to the show, Andre. How are you, sir?
What's happening? Good.
going on?
Hey,
Hey, Andre.
I had an idea.
Sure.
What's up, man? I had an idea. Thinking outside of the box, okay? Of like, we all know that Alabama, we think that Georgia will be there, all these other teams. What are teams in each conference that people are not talking about that people need to watch throughout the season? Like, including like Pac-12 and all that other stuff. Who cares about the Mountain West, whatever? But, out of the Power 5, what are teams that people need to watch out for that people are not talking about?
Are you
Tar Heels?
Well, people are talking about the Tar Heels. I mean, they're ranked in the top 12 at like 4 different polls. If you're asking for, I'll give you mine from the ACC and the SEC. From the ACC, and if we're going for a team that's out there, Boston College.
Wow.
Boston College. They've got the big quarterback Jerkin. They've got that Jeff Hafley's their coach. They're going to put up points. They went into Death Valley last year and almost hung an L on Clemson. They are not scared of shit. He's bringing that mentality of fuck everybody but us. So I'm not saying that they're going to, go and knock off Clemson. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if nobody's really talking about them, but they wouldn't shock me if they went out and won 9 games. Would not shock me one bit. Their schedule is interesting. They have to play Mizzou early in the season in an ACC-SEC matchup. They may take that game and go straight on down the road. Now, my team from the SEC is Mizzou. The team I was just talking about. They return the majority of their offense. They've got the guy that Coach Drinkowitz, Coach Drink as they call him, he is batshit crazy. Go and look at some of his videos where he gets a 3-star recruit. He loses his mind. But they're building a culture, which is the big C word, that is to winning at at Mizzou. Connor Badazalak is a guy that, or I think it's how you pronounce his name, is a guy that is probably the third best quarterback in the SEC behind Matt Corral and JT Daniels. He could finish as high as far as yardage goes. It's third in the SEC, in my opinion. He really could. So nobody's really talking about the Zoo, and no one's talking about Boston College, but both of those teams could go 9-3. Now, I can tell you a team that everybody's kind of talking about that I'm not buying at all is Kentucky. I don't know what the fuck everybody loves about Kentucky. Maybe that's just me. What do you think, gentlemen?
Well,
People like Stoops.
Can you imagine Stoops coaching up some of the talent that Georgia has? Put Stoops on Georgia's sideline. Georgia wouldn't lose a fucking game.
Oh yeah.
They would not. I'm dead serious.
People feel like the name Stoops is just gonna automatically get you this awesome season. You still have to have the fucking players.
Right.
You just can't coach them all up.
He's made a lot of chicken salad up there at Kentucky at a fucking basketball school.
He's not doing bad. Considering the teams that he's got to recruit against in that region, he's not too far away from WVU and UVA. He's not far from VTech.
Louisville, Ohio State.
Far from Louisville. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got all these teams in his region, and he's not doing bad for being the coach at Kentucky.
Yeah. Could be interesting.
But
who do you like in the SEC there, Dave?
Not named Alabama?
No, I mean team that no one's talking about. That's what we were talking about.
Right.
I basically just agree with you. Maybe Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin can coach offense and see what he does with that quarterback.
Yeah, their schedule's tough though. That's why I didn't really have them. But they're going to put up 40 points a game, so it's going to be pretty much out and score us.
Yeah,
that's the way it's going to be.
I mean, that means you can pretty much shut any other team down in the east, in the West, because they all have the same freaking schedule, as opposed to those teams in the East.
Right. Well, that's
another problem Texas A&M has.
That's kind of why I went with Mizzou, because I don't know who their other cross-conference rival is this year, but I know they're scheduled with Arkansas every year, and I think they're better than Arkansas, and I think they're better than Vandy. Go ahead. What'd you say, Dave?
I can see Ole Miss being better than possibly Auburn and Arkansas, and of course they still got to play LSU and Alabama, obviously, but they could be better than Mississippi State. They could be better than Texas A&M. I could see those things.
Yeah, I could buy that.
They might be folks.
There you go. And Noam, do you have a pick, or did you give us yours?
For a surprise team out of the SEC?
Yeah, that no one's really talking about.
That no one's really talking about. I mean,
right.
I would have to be interested in Ole Miss, but I would not sleep on Tennessee. I would not sleep on Tennessee. Don't go there.
Well, we got to see what happens post McDonald's.
This is true.
I don't know.
This is true.
They're sleeping giants, so.
Fuck him with a fucking horse hoop. His athletic director. I told you the story about his athletic director, right? Did we talk about that? When they introduced Josh Heupel as their head coach, right? Their athletic director went on the stage in front of everyone and said, "We've only interviewed one candidate for this job." Okay? And that was Josh Heupel. No, motherfucker. You interviewed Tony Elliott, and Tony Elliott, the Clemson offensive coordinator, politely told you to go fuck yourself. That's on record. Okay. So you, sir, are a liar, a documented liar. We know that you met Tony Elliott at his house because Tony Elliott tweeted about it. Uh-oh. And when Tony Elliott was asked 2 days later about interviewing for the Tennessee job, he just said it wasn't the job for me. You interviewed Tony Elliott. You also interviewed a couple of other people, but they all turned you down too. So you went with the guy that you know down at UCF, the guy that's been coaching for you, because you, sir, are a liar.
The problem with Tennessee is they have, like what we started, very, very high expectations. So if you don't go in there and show results in 3 years, you're out. So why the fuck not? You can go get a gig, like you said, in Central Florida and fucking rock shit.
Andre, who do you like in the who do you like from the SEC that no one's talking about, man?
I was saying Ole Miss because I agree they can put up some points, and I tell you what, they can really, really ruin someone's year. I mean, they might pull out 8 wins. I don't know, but man, I mean, think about this: how much trouble did Alabama have with a mobile quarterback with A&M? They caught fits from Manziel, and man, Ole Miss got that. They can get somebody. They can ruin somebody's season for sure.
Well, yeah.
I tell you what, though. What about games that? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying Alabama generally has trouble with a mobile quarterback. I mean, remember what Deshaun Watson did to them? Deshaun Watson had Nick Saban, doing onside kicks. I mean, seriously. So he has issues defending that the mobile quarterback. He really does. So
they didn't like it when good old Joey Burrow was breaking out of the pocket and
they didn't.
They didn't like that at all.
No, they don't like that shit at all. They don't like it. So yeah, I guess I'm buying that too. So good point there, man. That's a good point. From the ACC, is anybody on a team from the ACC, or do you guys not follow it as much?
I'm gonna go with Boston College.
No, I mean, what about Miami?
Yeah, I mean, I can buy Miami.
Well,
Miami could be right there too.
For the last couple of years,
and you know that could go back to Rob's original question: is teams with expectations? Because for the last 4 years, Miami's back. Well, when are they coming back?
I just signed a big old endorsement deal.
Yeah, that was true too. And then there's this whole thing with Texas too. You just wait. Same thing with Georgia. Georgia does the same shit. We finally got the talent.
You know what?
Do you?
That's interesting with Texas, though. I want to see what they're really going to do. I mean, the Herman pick, that hire never was really that good. I mean, you can be great at Houston, but you get in the big leagues, man. I mean, look, we might poo-poo Mac Brown about what he did and how it ended at Texas, though. But man, they were a freaking damn near a dynasty. You know, they were always at least up there, competing.
Yeah, but that's like calling Oklahoma a dynasty. Just because you get there.
I want to see somebody besides Oklahoma in the Big 12. I'm tired of seeing them.
Well, you're going to get it with Iowa State. Iowa State is really good.
Andre, do you know? Speaking of Iowa State, Andre, do you know who Texas opens up the season with?
I do, and I tell you what, I would not be surprised. Now, hold on. Is that their first game or the second game of the season?
I think it's the first game to open the season, which is what happened to Iowa State last year.
Right. I tell you what, man. If they don't take them serious, which honestly I don't think anybody in the country is not going to take Coastal Carolina or UL serious. I really don't. Not at this point, because both of them surprised some teams last year. But I tell you what, that'd be some. That's in Austin, is it not? Of course it is. What am I talking about? It's not
Yeah,
UL.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that one right there, that would just be a terrible start for that tenure right there. Because if UL
Looking
goes
forward
there and
to
beats them, I would not be surprised, man. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll tell you one game that I'm excited about next year. Maybe I get y'all's input about games that's not like your team, but a game in your conference you're looking forward to. I am extremely intrigued by Mississippi State and Ole Miss this year. You get all those fans in the damn stadium with those crazy coaches out there with Leach and Kiffin. Oh, my God. That could be entertaining as hell. Probably the most entertaining April we've seen in a long time. What about some games in the conference that's not your team that you're looking forward to this year?
I can agree with you on that. Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me.
Arrived at UNC. I really look forward to when he plays Clemson and Notre Dame, and I like seeing if he could pull one out of the hat. And
they didn't play last year, right? UNC and Clemson did not play last year. They played this year, though.
Nope.
No, they
didn't play last year.
But they do play this year.
No.
How does
play North Carolina?
How does the ACC work? I know how the SEC works. You know, we have our every year opponent.
They rotate like Clemson has every year. Clemson has the every year Georgia Tech is Clemson's like you guys play
conference.
You guys play Florida every year, right?
Yes.
So Clemson's coastal division opponent is Georgia Tech. So
and then you rotate the other guys.
They rotate with the rest of them. Clemson plays every year. Wake Forest, Boston College, NC State, Florida State, and Syracuse. And then let's see here. I think there's another one in there too. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me think. Wake Forest, Boston College, NC State. I'm dumb tonight. NC State, Florida State, Syracuse, and God, isn't there another one? I can't remember who it is. I have to look at the stuff. But no, Virginia Tech is in the coastal. But then they play Georgia Tech, so that's the 6th game. And then the 7th game, I'll give it to you in a minute. But yeah, that's kind of how it goes. You have 2 games against the other division, and then 6 games against the rest of the league there.
So the same thing as the SEC.
Basically, yeah. That's kind of how it works. So, Clemson's schedule this year, by the way, other than the Georgia game, is probably the easiest schedule Clemson has had in the past, I would say, 10 years. And
so
even though they have
against Georgia, you're screwed.
Yeah, if Clemson loses to Georgia and wins out, I still think that Clemson will be left out of the CFP, even if they go, 12-1 and win out. I think they'll be left out of the CFP because their schedule potentially is hot dog water. I mean, it's bad.
You're putting too much stock in.
He froze. The only way I see Clemson being left out is if you have Alabama undefeated, a 1-loss SEC team, and then Oklahoma or Ohio State goes undefeated.
Exactly, Dave. Exactly. You're putting too much stock in the Pac-12. For damn sure.
Well, I think that you're going to have Oklahoma.
Could be ranked high.
Yeah. Here, Jaden, put this away. I think you're going to have Oklahoma and Ohio State right there in the mix, and obviously Alabama or whoever wins the West, basically. So there's that. Just my opinion. So we shall see, though.
Y'all just better hope Miami and North Carolina to get up there.
I think Miami and North Carolina are going to be good, but Clemson doesn't fucking play them. I mean, they don't play them.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not on the regular season schedule. So they could get one of them in the ACC championship game, but it's not going to fucking matter if they don't play them.
Well,
so
yeah, but you have to hope. That's when you have to hope that one of those two teams is highly ranked, and you catch them in the championship game. And when I say
still,
not the 8-5 coastal champion,
and that's everybody. But listen, what are they going to be? I mean, if it's a top 10 matchup, look, it was a top 5 matchup last year with Notre Dame, and everybody was pissing on it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the perception of the ACC, and there's not much you can do about it. But
you're not helping.
Well,
Yeah, but Notre Dame last year was a good.
Had they had a healthy quarterback, they would have matched Notre Dame. That's why they're pissing on it.
Well,
it
but
wouldn't have changed those because of the circumstances.
And I can agree on that, but the problem with Clemson in that Notre Dame game, and a lot of people, that they don't remember this, in the first game against Notre Dame up there, Notre Dame, DJ Uiagalelei threw for more yards than any opponent of Notre Dame in school history. Okay? So every quarterback that's ever come through there from an opposing team has never thrown as many yards as DJ Uiagalelei did. The passing game wasn't the problem for Clemson. The problem was they couldn't stop the run, and they had 3 guys out that on the defensive line, or the starting middle linebacker, and 2 guys out on the defensive line, including Mike Jones, who is now an LSU Tiger. He didn't play in that game. So he was the Clemson's best coverage linebacker at the time, and Notre Dame ate him up. Flat out ate him up. That's why Clemson lost that game. It had nothing to do with Uiagalelei.
They didn't eat them up. I mean, they barely won.
Brother, they look at the stats. That Clemson defense got shelled. I mean, shelled. Gave up almost, I think, 300 yards on the ground. I can't remember. I got to look that up. But it was a brutal game for Clemson. I mean, it really was. So, anyway, what else do you have, Andre?
That's it, man. Roll tide off a cliff. Y'all have a good one.
Andre, thanks for calling the show, buddy. We appreciate it.
Drive safe.
Yeah, be safe out there tonight, right? All right. Well, we have that. And what else did I tell you that I wanted to talk about earlier there, Jonathan? Do you remember?
I remember, but I'm looking at this Facebook user, and he brought up something I was kind of about to say. I've been hearing for 2 or 3 years how Oregon is just going to be this badass world beater. I mean, when is Oregon going to go 12-0 in the Pac-12 and actually fucking do something? We're not even going to talk about what they would do in the playoffs, but when's Oregon going to do this? The Pac-12 is a fucking mess.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
The only time I'm really paying attention to a Pac-12 team that I think it's because I view them as a team that likes to play defense, and that's Stanford.
Yeah. Don't we got a Pac-12 this year, huh?
Yeah, you start with UCLA, which
yeah, them, right. Yeah,
man, yeah. I'll tell you what. The thing with that game, when I look at it for LSU, man, you guys got to come out and make a statement early. Y'all need to walk the dog with those bitches.
Yeah.
Seriously, to start the season with 80% of your talent returning, you gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, if UCLA comes out and makes it a tough, tight game, I think that there's going to be some people that are looking around like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're more talented than
what
they are.
LSU's defensive coordinator does with the talent he's got.
Yeah, the bullshit zone shit. I mean, that's what Pelini ran, right? A lot of zone, right? And people picked it apart. Yeah. If I had those 2 defensive backs that you got, I would line up in man, and I would tell them point blank, here's what you do. You cover that guy, and you cover that guy. And if you get burnt, you're going to run until you fucking die. That would be my coaching. And seriously, that's exactly what I would tell them. And I would tell them point blank, you're the baddest dog on the fucking block. The only guy that may be badder than you is the guy that's on the other, is Stingley on the other side. And you know what? You need to make sure you let him know how bad you are. I would not have any bullshit when it came to that. I'd run straight, man. And if you beat me up the field, then that's fine. I'll live with that because not everybody's going to do that.
Nope.
Not everybody's going to do it.
And you're not going to do it constantly in one game.
Well, when you have the talent that LSU has, why are you running a fucking zone? Bo Pelini should be shot on sight.
He should not ever coach again.
He should never be allowed to coach a football team ever. I mean, he can't coach fucking Pee Wee League. How in the fuck are you running zone with those two shutdown corners? God damn, that would bug the fuck out of me. The more and more I watch LSU's games last year, especially the Mississippi State game, they were given 7 yards every play. You break one tackle, you got 11 yards. Not that we need to keep bringing that up. I'm not trying to rub your nose in it, gentlemen.
So
that's not what I'm trying to do.
I mean, we could change the subject to like basketball. I mean, we all know basketball. Besides people like Fuckstick, which I also heard, by the way, I think they have one person returning to the Alabama basketball team next year. But anyways, that's besides the point. One player. There's a few topics in basketball. There's Kevin Love. There's the
Kevin Love story. I don't know if we talked about that or not, but Jalen Rose said that we did. Yeah, but Jalen Rose said that he was a token player because he's white. And then Greg Popovich, they asked Greg Popovich about it today. And Popovich said, we need role players on this team to help facilitate the offense when you've got Damian Lillard and Kevin Durant out there throwing, two guys that demand the ball. You need somebody like a Kevin Love that'll rebound and will shoot the three.
Absolutely.
That's what you need. I mean, it makes sense.
Somebody that doesn't need to be the fucking star, the highlight. Somebody that's going to back those guys up.
Yeah.
You can call him the sixth man. You can call him the third man, whatever you want to call him. But you have to have those fucking guys. That's what happened to the Dream Team 3 and Dream Team 4 that sucked so fucking bad because you had nothing but a bunch of fucking ball hogs that couldn't do shit.
Iverson, all those guys, yeah.
All those guys. And then it took somebody, I hate to say it, like Coach K to come in there and fucking say, no. And
well, let fuck Team USA over too. So let's leave it at that. But I mean, and we sent guys thinking we could just roll the ball out there like they did in 92 when they're playing Angola, and Angola wins. They beat Angola by 40 fucking points.
40, 60, whatever it was.
Name the fucking score. So yeah, there's that too. But the world caught up, and we had to fucking actually have some guys that can actually play.
Play together. Play together.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
There's that. That's a good point.
And you know what? I feel like, we were in a bad place where we were just putting amateurs out there. Now we are going to have to work hard and work as a team because you have a lot of your big stars opting out. So the ones that are playing need to be able to play as a team. When you bring a guy in like Kevin Love, who's been on many teams and knows how to be that guy, to be the setup guy, to be the backup, to be able to sit back and just support the stars, that's what you need is a guy like that. Not just, the great white hope. Well,
and he's 7 foot tall and shoots almost 40% from 3-point land. Give me that guy.
There's a problem with Kevin Love playing on the USA basketball team, but nobody had a problem with LeBron James recruiting him when he played in Cleveland.
No.
Fucking right. Let's get Kevin Love.
Yeah, that's the problem with the thing that's bugging me now. And you know who agreed with Jalen Rose? Take a wild guess. I read this today, and it was like, are you fucking kidding me? Dick Vitale.
Come on.
swear to you, Dick Vitale said he agreed with Jalen Rose. That shit made Super Dave choke on his penis.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I mean,
which
I can't remember.
because look, I can take a dig at Dick, but I mean everybody who knows college basketball knows that Dick Vitale has been around for decades. He's probably the single biggest voice in college basketball. But one could argue that in today's climate, he's the token white guy on the ESPN broadcast. So shut the fuck up, Dick.
Yes.
Exactly. Dick Vitale can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't even know what planet he's on. Andre says LeBron's not playing. No, his vagina is scuffed, and
it's pretty sore. His vagina is pretty sore, and I don't think he was allowed to pick this team.
About the NBA, so, you really think he was in the USA basketball?
He doesn't like playing with teams that he doesn't actually get to manage or pick. So he's not going to have any part to do with this.
You know, Kobe Bryant was kind of a dickhead, you know, and I know he's dead. And you're not supposed to talk ill of the dead, but you know what I liked about Kobe Bryant? Kobe Bryant knew LeBron James was a bitch from the start. There's an all-star game like 7 or 8. I mean, like in the waning years of Kobe's career, and
another game.
There's a spot. It's at the end of the game, and LeBron comes down the court. And whatever LeBron's team is needs a basket, just needs a bucket to win. Right?
Nobody else is playing defense.
Yeah, and Kobe is yelling. You can see Kobe yelling at him. And he tell him, "You're a bitch. You're gonna pass the ball, bitch." You can see this, and LeBron comes up, and what does he do? He passes the ball, and the ball comes back to him. And Kobe tells him, "What are you doing with the ball, bitch? You're going to pass it, bitch. You're not going to take it to the rack. That's not going to happen." I mean, you can literally hear him saying this shit. He's telling LeBron James, fuck you, fuck your mom, fuck your aunt, all of it, all at one time. And what does LeBron do? LeBron drives on Kobe, and Kobe says, "Wrong decision." LeBron dips his shoulder into Kobe.
Of course, he frees his right part of the story.
Yeah, Kobe steps back, and when he does, it's almost like the missing chair defense.
Yep.
LeBron has to pass the ball. He gives it to Zildrunas Elgauskas to shoot a three-pointer. Big, tall Czechoslovakian motherfucker that plays in the
Kentucky and European, by the way.
Whatever, to win the game instead of taking it at Kobe Bryant. Michael Jordan would have killed himself to try to score on Kobe then. So, yeah, love Kobe Bryant for that. You're a bitch. You're not gonna do it. You're a bitch. How's that feel, bitch?
So I was kind of looking at sports stuff earlier, and I thought about it. I was looking at the recap of last night's Suns game, and
Chris Paul was a smoke show.
I thought about this because you know when Chris Paul was first drafted by the Pelicans, all good, whatever, you know, and but then he got there got to be a point where he was just irritating, and then ever since then, you know, Chris Paul got traded, and Chris Paul had to play with all these superstars, with Griffin and
that's disingenuous.
Well,
when
my
Chris
point
Paul
is
was here, they let go of the second best player on the team, that was David West, sent him to Indiana, and then they got rid of the coach.
What's up?
Yeah,
and guess who's his fucking coach now? Yeah. Full circle. He's playing for Monty Williams again, and they're in the finals.
But then he had to placate to all kinds of egos at the Clippers, and then Houston, and these different teams. It's nice to see what Chris Paul can do with all these young players in Phoenix, where he gets to be the alpha. Not to say he doesn't know how to play that secondary role. He does. But it's nice to see what he can do. He can take over a game. Yeah, you know?
Have the best backcourt in the Western in the league, in my opinion. I mean, Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Tell me a better backcourt than that.
For so many years, all you talked about with Chris Paul was his assists. I mean, he led the league in assists, his assists, because he placated to that. It's nice to see him be the scorer that he can be.
You know, something about those two is they've got a great mid-range game. That 17-foot jump shot, nobody shoots that shit anymore, but they do. And a lot of these guys don't know how to fucking defend it. They really don't.
Like they could pull up, no problem.
So, you know, I was actually talking about that with somebody today. I think they have the best backcourt in the league. And someone said, you know, Steph Curry and
Thompson
and Klay Thompson can give them a hell of a run. I'll take Booker and Paul because those two play defense. Paul's going to get you 2 or 3 steals a game, and he's going to rebound. Klay Thompson and Steph Curry are probably better shooters.
Curry gets you some rebounds, and Thompson's got some length.
I'm just saying, and I'm kind of a homer here. I'd probably go with those two. We were supposed to have Independence Day trivia tonight, huh?
Portland doesn't have a bad backcourt.
CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard.
So
I'd buy that. I mean,
so David, have you heard? Are you in the media? Have you heard the rumor of Lillard coming to New Orleans?
If that happens, good for New Orleans because Lillard's a hell of a player.
What's that?
I haven't heard that. I've heard Lakers.
No, old boy in Baton Rouge. What's his goddamn name? I always forget his name. Was talking about it last week on his radio show. Now they would have to probably trade the form again, but
they still have some draft capital from the AD and the Drew Holiday trades.
The Lakers.
All right. Well, yeah, that's true too. Well, we were supposed to have Independence Day trivia tonight with a Georgia fan and a Clemson fan, but no, that didn't go over too well. So I thought we'd let you two play, and we could see who is the true American between the two of you. Okay. So here's the deal. I'm going to read you a question, and we will let the gnome go first since he's up top there. And whoever gets to, if you get the question wrong, then Dave can steal it. Okay. Yep. Now, if you're in the chat room, don't answer these questions. Don't be a cunt. If you're in the chat room, don't put the answers up over there.
What's that?
I don't have the chat room.
Okay. Well,
this is East versus West.
Right. So I'm going to read you the first person to get to, what are we going to do? 5 questions? That'll work. 5 questions, 5 correct answers out of the 10, or excuse me, I've got 20 questions here, so we should be able to do this. All right, let's start with the gnome. In which year was the Declaration of Independence adopted?
I feel like this is a trick question, but I'm going to go with 1776.
That's correct. Very good, sir. So 1 for the gnome. 1 for the gnome. All right, here we go with number 2. This is for Dave. Which statesman and president was the principal author of the Declaration of Independence?
Jefferson.
That just gives me a reason to play that soundbite. I love that soundbite. All right, so we're tied up at 1 apiece. Here is number 2. For the gnome here. Apart from Thomas Jefferson, who was the only other signer of the Declaration of Independence to later become the President of the United States?
John Adams.
America, fuck yeah! All right, 2-1 for the gnome.
2 seconds.
Yeah, no, don't be
They're like,
over there
please
cheating
don't fucking
shit
answer
now.
this one.
Whoa.
Yeah, if you're cheating, you asshole, we'll catch you, by God.
I was trying to think if it was John Adams or John Quincy Adams. My bad, bro.
Well, John Quincy Adams was John Adams' son, you simpleton.
Yeah, I know. He was the 4th president of the United States.
No, he wasn't, you jerk off. He was the 6th president of the United States.
All right,
Goddamn,
six.
come with the facts here.
I think he was
Number 4.
Yeah, you're right. He was the 6th.
Yeah, I know he was the 6th because I know my fucking history. All right, for Super Dave, who needs this to tie it at 2 apiece, which department store chain has sponsored New York's annual 4th of July fireworks display since 1976?
I have no fucking clue.
Oh, man.
You sure?
I'll take a stab.
Yeah.
Department store chain?
Department store chain, yes.
Yeah. I'm thinking of things, and I'm like, man, that one's defunct now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
You
know.
got a guess?
Sears is the first one that came to mind. I don't know.
Which one?
Sears.
Sears?
But it's Macy's.
Oh,
You sorry motherfuckers!
yeah, that one's wrong.
Well,
But
Macy's does Thanksgiving.
Macy's is correct. They sponsor the 4th of July and the Thanksgiving Day parade. So
The 4th of July spectacular.
Yep. So with that gives what? Jonathan 3 because he was able to steal it. And you have what? 1? 3-1 right now. So he's opening up a little bit of the lead here. Oh, shit. All right. Let's see here. Next question. This is for Jonathan too. How many colonies signed the Declaration of Independence?
13.
So that is 4. So Dave needs to get this so we don't mock him to death. But this is to keep him in the mix here. In which city was the Declaration of Independence signed?
Philly.
Yay! That soundbite makes me so fucking happy.
Makes me happy.
Andre says, Dave, come on, you're serving the country. Mishi says, I wanted to answer so bad. She's like, you better know that.
That's the only one Michi knew out of all of them, so she wanted to answer it.
Shut up. Stop mocking her, jerk. All right, so that is question. That's the gnome has a 4-2 lead in with our questions right now. Here is the next question. The gnome can win it all and be deemed the real American of CSF Late Nights. I expect you to wear an American flag next week, sir, if you can bring it down. Potential winning question. Who wrote the Pledge of Allegiance?
Oh, fuck. I was hoping you to send the national anthem. Fuck. The Pledge of Allegiance.
Who wrote the Pledge of Allegiance?
Willis Scott Keys.
What?
Who?
What? Hold on. What? Willis Scott Key. Judges?
You fucking redneck, cousin fucking, chicken fucking, hillbilly, goddamn East Tennessee outlaw mud show piece of shit.
That would be incorrect. Dave, can you steal this question, sir?
So there's 2 different answers because there were 2 different versions that eventually merged into one. All I remember is that the guy who wrote the original was a general, but I don't remember his name.
Well, that's not good enough. Well,
now I'm sitting here. He's got a family. He's got a nice shirt on.
Yeah, no, that is not correct. The answer is Francis Bellamy. That is who wrote your Pledge of Allegiance.
That was Francis Scott Keys. Was the
you were talking about? I thought you said what you talking about, Willis? What you talking about?
I was just throwing some shit out there.
All right, so still 4-1. Dave can make up some ground here. Who sewed the first U.S. flag, Dave?
Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross. Yeah, hold on, wait for it.
Fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah!
Damn. Shit.
Oh, it's breathing down his neck a little bit here. It's starting to. Will the gnome crack? Will the gnome crack? Yes. All right. Gnome, what year was the Pledge of Allegiance recognized by Congress?
Fuck, bro.
It's part of Independence Day trivia, my friend.
$1952.
You got to be shitting me.
That would be incorrect. Dave, you want to take a shot?
54.
Why don't you hold your dicks for a minute? We'll be done here in a second.
No, it was 1942. 1942.
I was thinking
is when they added under God.
Exactly. You're exactly right with that. So when they added, that's exactly right.
Rob makes him sound so smart because he's the one with all the fucking answers. But
well, you could have wrote trivia, stupid, but you couldn't write, so you can't get your fingers up on the keyboard. Okay, to get closer here. This is for Dave. Where is the Liberty Bell located? Where is the Liberty Bell located? If you want to go visit the Liberty Bell today, where would you go?
Pennsylvania.
That's correct.
No.
It's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That's correct. There you go. Dave's making.
You could have just said the United States, and it's there also.
It's in the damn state, dude.
It's in
I will not have you bad-mouthing the motherfucking Liberty Bell, sir. This is America.
No,
I will not
have it,
sir.
Anyways.
This is a land of big titties and fucking big titties. And I will not have you bad-mouthing our country, sir, and the great goddamn Liberty Bell. Slow down with all that noise.
You should ask a simple question like,
it's 4-3, sir.
No, it's
4-3. No, it's not. It's 4-3.
No, it's 4-4.
Oh, it's 4-4. Oh shit. Well, this could be the first. Now it is the gnome's turn, though.
It is the gnome's turn.
Let's see. It's tied at 4.
He's gonna give me some bullshit about the fucking Pledge of Allegiance again.
No, I'm not. I'm reading these in order here. Okay, I don't know what the hell your problem is. What is your problem with all this, man? Let's see here. Hold on, please. The next question. All right. Which signer of the Declaration of Independence became the United States' first ambassador to France? This is a very easy question when you think about it. Do you have a guess there, Gnome?
John Adams.
Your dad is making you look like a fucking idiot.
No, it's not John Adams. Do you want to take a shot at it there, Dave?
I'm gonna take a shot. I'm
win.
just gonna be wrong. It'll be I'll go with Hancock.
With Hancock.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of Hancock just because he had a pretty
I don't know
handwriting.
shit about fuck. I don't know shit about fuck.
The first ambassador to France from the United States was Benjamin Franklin. He went over there and was a whore. Ben Franklin was a whore. He had syphilis and fucked everything under the sun. I want to be like Ben Franklin. Yeah, he was over there fucking all those French bitches. He wore a coonskin cap because they thought all Americans were savages and basically fucked everybody. I mean,
That wasn't David Crockett?
No, he wore a coonskin hat. Seriously, look it up. Andre knows. I'm serious. Ben Franklin was a whore and fucked every French woman that he possibly could.
Well, why didn't you play, Andre? Easy from back there, isn't it?
All right, well, now it's Dave's turn. Dave gets his shot here. Oh, goodness. Let's see here. Will this be the final question? We'll have to see here. Who said, "Give me liberty or give me death"?
Motherfucker.
I don't know if that one, motherfucker. Can we accept motherfucker?
Here's the hilarious part. I'm gonna give an answer that I'm probably gonna get wrong, but after I answer it and y'all mock me for being wrong, I'll say Thomas Paine.
You said Thomas Paine?
Yeah.
Put that goddamn baby inside there.
So, here's the hilarious part.
Okay.
This tattoo in French says, "Give me liberty or give me death." It's literally tattooed on my body.
Hold the fuck on. You have "Give me liberty or give me death" tattooed on your arm, and you don't know who the fuck said it. Oh my God. That may be the most American thing ever.
Tattooed on my ribs.
Tattooed on his ribs, and he doesn't know who fucking said it. That's great. All right, Gnome.
All right.
You can take it home from here if you know who said "Give me liberty" or "Give me death."
I'm thinking of two names. I'll say them both.
If he answers it right, I'm gonna know it as soon as I hear them.
I'm thinking of either. I'm thinking of don't say anything. I'm thinking of either Benedict Arnold or Paul Revere, but I'm gonna go with Benedict Arnold.
No.
I don't know shit about fuck.
The traitor.
I don't know shit about fuck.
Yeah, that's
Paul Revere is the one that ran through.
I know what I know who Paul Revere is, but he had to have said something one day.
Yeah, he said you're fucking stupid for thinking I said that. It was actually Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry is who said that. Fuck Patrick Henry, right? Yeah. Who the fuck?
Now I'm gonna have his name tattooed under my tattoo.
Yeah, you should be made to remember. God damn. I mean, what the hell with all that? Jesus Christ. All right, here we go. For whose turn is it? Is it the gnome or is it? It has to be the gnome.
Yes,
it has to be the gnome because Dave went before. Let's see here. We're gonna go with what was the total number of people who signed the Declaration of Independence? Now, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let you both because we're it's getting late, so we're gonna let you both take a guess, and whoever gets the closest will be crowned the champion. What was the total number of people who signed the Declaration of Independence?
Are we playing?
It's whoever's the closest.
Prices? Are we playing? We're not playing Price is Right. Price is Right rules.
No, it's whoever's the closest to that number.
Should we write them down?
No. Well, I mean, what do you want to write them down?
Looks like Dave's writing them down.
Okay. No, you don't go over there and get your phone and look it up, you simpleton.
I swear, a piece of paper, asshole. My phone's right here.
You should be able to write it in blood on your fucking monitor there. All right, so Dave's got his. Do you have yours?
You ready, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah, hold on. We got it right here. Let's go with this. Hold on just a minute.
Oh, you need this calculator.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm trying to fix something here to play at the end of it. All right, so let's look at who's got. Okay, Gnome has got 37. Super Dave has got 26. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is 56.
50, I just said 54.
56 is the correct answer.
No
that
win.
means our champion is our good friend, the gnome. And he gets the special music. Here we go. Yes. Here we go.
You get to wear the American shirt, Nick.
Here we go. He's the real American. I thought I had this saved earlier. Here we go. We need the chorus. You're not gonna dance? Dance, you gnome.
Oh no, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Too far. Turn off the music. Cut the music. Ravishing recruit? No.
This is Sam.
There you go. So there you go. The gnome is our champion in our Independence Day trivia. Thank you, gnome. Good job. You named him Sam. I guess that works.
You think?
Yeah, that works. By the way, I read something the other day about the Declaration of Independence I thought was really cool. I think that there was only one person that signed the Declaration of Independence that did not own slaves. You guys will take a guess at who that was? Actually, two people. There's two. I'm sorry.
Well, one was not Thomas Jefferson. We know that.
We know that. Thomas Jefferson was like, get on there.
I think it was Benjamin Franklin.
That's one.
And Barack Obama.
You dumb fuck. No. Sign the Declaration of Independence, you jerk off.
I think it was Benjamin Franklin and John Hancock.
No. It's Benjamin Franklin and John Adams. There you go.
Oh, motherfucker. I was thinking of that fucking dude.
So John Adams actually started writing with the intention of freeing the slaves. So he never agreed with the principle.
John Adams, and when you go back and look at John Adams and what John Adams did, he was our first ambassador to England. So he went over there after we kicked England in the cunt and went over there and was our ambassador. Imagine having the balls to do that and to walk down the streets of London.
I could picture him walking down the streets, and if somebody was like drinking a tea, he would like slap it out their hand and shit.
We kicked your ass. No, yeah, John Adams was great, by the way. You want to? That's one of the sad things is that you have, if you go up to DC and they have the monuments for they have the Jefferson Memorial and the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Memorial and they have the what is it? What's the other one? Jefferson, Lincoln, Washington. There's one more, isn't there? I can't remember. But you have those, but we don't have a memorial for John Adams, who was fucking great. I mean, just
memorial
great.
for John Adams. It's called the Declaration of Independence.
Well, Thomas Jefferson wrote it. It's just that he proofed it, basically.
Yes.
So John Adams is. I tell you what, for all you guys that are single out there, read the letters that John Adams and his wife Abigail wrote back and forth to each other, and then steal some of the lines from those letters and put them in your notes that you're trying to get with your girl. It still works, and he wrote it in the 1700s. Absolutely amazingly romantic stuff there. You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome for all that. Read. I've got those letters somewhere, the book somewhere. But it's outstanding. I forgot to mention, if you guys would like to donate to pay for the StreamYard for the month, feel free. There's my PayPal address. Whatever we get over the $24, it's $24. I think is what it costs. It's $29. Whatever the hell it is. I give the rest to my two co-hosts to make them professional broadcasters. We're gonna have more people in here come football season, I'm sure, and it's gonna be fun. So I'm looking forward to that. So if you guys want to, I want to keep the show going. I just, can't. Got to pay for the StreamYard fees. So
we're
huh?
It's gonna be some good times if we can sustain this till September when football season.
Yeah. Well, we'll make it through to September.
We'll talk about hogwash until September. I'm surprised that none of us mentioned Poirier and McGregor.
Good point. Good point. I was thinking about that also.
That's this weekend, right?
Yes, it is this weekend.
Yeah, we can talk about that real quick before we go. I think McGregor's a bitch. It's just my
I thought the same thing when I first heard the man talk. And I was like, oh, it's just a bunch of hot air. But then I watched him fight, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, he could actually fight. He
can fight. I'll give him that. Remember when he fought Cowboy Cerrone, and he like had him pinned, and he was shoulder butting him. Yes. Like, I mean, fuck me. Can you imagine getting hit like that? Jesus Christ.
A lot of people don't remember, but way back when, I don't know how old Max Holloway is now, but Max Holloway is going to go down as one of the greatest fighters in UFC history.
Yeah.
But back when Max Holloway was a young buck, 21 years old, he had a 3-round preliminary fight, so it wasn't even on the main card, against Conor, and Conor beat the shit out of that dude. Like, it wasn't close.
But Conor fell quick.
His fall from grace was fast, but his rise was pretty epic. I mean,
Max
Holloway beating Dustin Poirier, taking out Jose Aldo in seconds, becoming the first two division champion. I mean, he had an epic rise.
Yeah, and an epic fall.
But if he beats Poirier on Saturday and then takes on Oliveira or whatever his name is for the lightweight championship and wins that, he's going to be right back in the conversation of one of the greatest fighters in UFC history.
However, all Poirier, you'll get him.
I just want a good fight.
I want to see a good fight too, because you know what? We haven't really had a really good fight in a while.
Well, surprises. Watching Francis.
Some surprises, but I want the fight with John Jones and Nagano. I think that's
fuck John Jones.
I'm just saying that's the fight.
The best fighter I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You want that fight though with Jones and Nagano, but fucking Dana White's trying to shove Derek Lewis versus Nagano, which we've already seen. And I'm not knocking Derek Lewis because I think Derek Lewis is a beast. But
the black beast.
I'd like to see him fight John Jones, because I don't think John Jones has fought anybody with the power that Derek Lewis has. But I think Lewis is just too fast. I think that Jones is just too quick, and I think he'll eventually choke him out. I really do.
And plus, Jones is a more well-rounded fighter than Derek Lewis. If that fight goes to the ground, Derek Lewis is fucked.
He can't breathe that long.
Lewis gets off his feet, he's done.
Yeah,
he's absolutely done. So
all he's got to do is catch John in the face one time, and it's over.
He has knockout power, brother. I mean, it does. He hits you one time, and you go the fuck to sleep.
Yeah.
So I mean that's an intriguing fight. I think that Jones would be the favorite, but then you got Nagano too, who was a hell of a fighter in his own right. But Dana White needs to come off that shit. I love how they tried to chastise. He tried to run his mouth about John Jones or whatever, and Jones is like, "Wait a minute, let me make sure we understand something. I've cut weight to get back to 205, or to go above 205 to go into heavyweight. He didn't cut weight; he gained weight.
Right.
So because he's a natural 205 fighter, I've gained weight to go up, and you're telling me that I'm a pussy? Okay, Dana. I think that's what he put out on Okay, Dana.
All John wants
He looks
is
like he's an
to get-
ass.
all John wants to get is an actual payday. Conor McGregor's
I mean,
last fight was worth more money than John Jones's previous 3 fights.
I agree. But that's the thing. That's the only fight we really want to see.
It is.
Only fight we really want to see.
I
There
wouldn't
isn't
mind seeing Colby Covington get back into the ring with Kamaru Usman just because I enjoyed the shit out of watching Colby Covington get his ass whooped.
Right, but listen, in the grand scheme of things, you and I are going to watch whoever. If they have Lewis versus Nagano again, we're going to watch that because we like the fights. But as far as getting the average person that doesn't watch fights, getting them back into the mix, you're going to need the big name of John Jones and Francis Nagano. That would be the huge fight. Well, all that the people that would drop the $50.
Dana White's playing this whole thing like a bitch. It's not just the Bones Jones things. When Ngannou won the title, they said, "All right, when are you going to be ready to go again?" And he told them, "I'll be ready in about September." Well, that wasn't fast enough for the UFC, so they've gone and scheduled an interim heavyweight title fight that will precede Ngannou and Lewis, which is a Bush League move. The dude told you how long he needed. What's the rush?
Yeah.
You can have another heavyweight fight and not make it an interim title bout. That's stupid.
Yep. Agreed.
Just give us what we want.
Right.
Give us what we want. That's all there is to it. Give us what we want.
I'm fine with the fight that's going to happen this weekend.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, I can't wait either. That's going to be a great fight. But as far as the heavyweights go, and that's something too. We haven't really talked about that, but I believe that something in boxing right now, reason the boxing is kind of off a little bit is because we don't really have
any heavyweight.
Well, I mean, Tyson Fury is a good, he's a good heavyweight, but you don't have really anybody like, I hate to use this, but Mike Tyson and guys like that, Evander Holyfield and all those guys. We used to have a solid heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Now you got a bunch of guys that, I mean, people talk about, Floyd Mayweather this and Manny Pacquiao that. They fought at 145 pounds.
Right.
They're little fellas.
I mean, how many years? Probably 10 years the Klitschko brothers had the titles. We don't fucking care about the Klitschko brothers.
Fuck those Russians. Fuck them and their money.
And that's what killed boxing.
One of them was fucking Hayden Panettiere, and that's pretty awesome for him.
But you know what else? You know what else killed boxing though? The undercards. Because the undercards in UFC are all fucking good. Undercards in boxing,
man. That's true. I mean, you watch a UFC undercard, and you're going to have at least 2 good fights.
Even if you never heard of them.
So bad that it's given rise to absolute shitheads like Jake and Logan Paul.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I hope Tyron Woodley beats the fuck out of Jake Paul.
When is that fight?
I don't know. Not fast enough.
I can't believe people paid money for that shit with Mayweather. But anyways.
No. I don't pay money.
I'll get a stream.
I wouldn't even done that.
I ain't paying for that shit. I ain't paying for that shit. Fuck that.
Right.
But no, I'm in the camp of fuck all that, man. I want boxing has to do better on that front, and they're not doing it right now. So it's kind of a mess.
Sometimes you could watch a better fight on like ESPN, the old Friday night fights, than some of the undercards you see in these boxing matches or boxing cards where you spending $50-$60 on.
I like to watch the UFC women fight. I mean, what is it? Was it Rose McGowan and Amanda Nunes and all that?
Aspen Ladd's about to make her comeback. She's going to be on a UFC fight night in July. She told
even when they're the main card.
I don't think anybody can fuck with Amanda Nunes right now.
One of the biggest draws is Amanda Nunes.
Oh yeah, she's a bad bitch too.
Yes, she is.
Everybody was talking about her and Ronda Rousey. She would butt fuck Ronda Rousey.
She did.
Yeah,
she
did.
She did.
Yeah, I remember that now. But still, everybody's like, "Yeah, Ronda Rousey." No, Ronda doesn't need another
I don't
shot.
think
At that.
Ronda lasted 2 minutes.
Fuck retired. What's that? Yeah, I remember that.
Lasted 2 minutes, and she beat the fuck out of Cyborg too.
Holly Holmes.
And Cyborg is a man.
Yeah, it's a man, baby.
She kicked the shit out of a man.
So one last question. We're probably all gonna go. Agree or disagree? Pick your argument. Sha'Carri Richardson. Should she be banned from the Olympics?
Oh God.
So there's a false equivalency there that's been going on where people like to compare her to Michael Phelps, but Phelps smoked weed months after the Olympics were over.
I didn't hear that equivalency. Well, yeah, of course. That was like
you know where Michael Phelps smoked that weed too? Right here in good old Columbia, South Carolina. That's a fact, Jack.
But so while I don't feel like smoking, so people say pot's not a performance enhancing drug. And I'll agree that it doesn't give you a performance edge, but what I do think it does is calm your anxiety. And anxiety is a part of competition. And if you don't know that, then there's something wrong with you. You know nothing about competition. Anxiety is a huge part of competition. So if you're smoking pot to calm your anxiety for a competition, which she did not do, she did it because of the loss of a family member. Her mother passed away, which, you know, I get it. You know, I'd probably took one up if, but actually I didn't.
Just for the record, I might be high right now.
But
I might be.
Why don't you get high, David?
Because I'm in the military and I can't.
Oh, so you can't. So even if you wanted to, you choose not to.
I love the way they looked at him like, you're a fucking moron. He gave you the fuck stick look.
Well,
are you stupid? Yes, you are.
I knew the answer to the question. So you knew better, and you don't want to suffer consequences of getting busted for smoking marijuana.
Between the ages of 18 and 21, I smoked it a handful of times, literally a handful of times. And at 21 years old, I decided that it did nothing for me. I'd smoke it and I'd fall asleep. So there was no point for me to ever keep smoking that. So, but all my friends just want me to retire from the military so that we can always smoke a bowl. Work.
Well,
your friends sound great, by the way. Hey, stop with all that responsibility shit so we can get high.
I too, in the oil field, cannot partake in marijuana. And
I joke about doing drugs, but I don't do drugs. But I can tell you this: where I work for iHeartRadio, they're supposed to do like all these random drug tests, and everyone knows that Rob doesn't partake. So Rob's always the one that gets randomly tested. It's because literally, I would say 90% of the people in my building partake in all of that. In fact, one guy has one of those vape pens, sort of like your penis that you've got there, and he's got the THC cartridges, and he'll light it up in studio. You don't smell it, but he's high all time. So there's that. So what point is Olympics before we get out of here?
You know the rules. You know the rules.
Yep.
If you break them and you get busted, don't cry me Argentina that you got banned from the Olympics. Period. This is a question about rules, not a question about whether the rule is good or not. Is my point.
The other false narrative about this whole thing is that it's it's racially unfair because
Oh yeah.
he's black and black people. It's a cultural thing. They smoke weed. If you look at demographics and statistics, it's for Caucasians and black people. It's almost the same percentage of people that smoke in both races.
I have a
14 to
serious,
15%.
and I know that I'm the token. I guess I'm the token white guy in this conversation. I guess we're all token white guys.
You're
but
the token South Carolinian.
I'm the token South Carolinian, and by God, we'll leave the union again. We don't give a shit. We've already done it once. You know, my whole thing with all that is that they'll say, well, it's part of the culture. Well, was it the same thing when, you know, Michael Vick was fighting dogs? That was the big thing. Oh, that's part of black people's culture. Well, maybe that shouldn't be part of your fucking culture. How's that sound for you? And by the way, if you're an Olympic athlete and you're training to be the best in the fucking world, maybe you shouldn't be putting marijuana in your system. Maybe there's that too.
Exactly.
Maybe I'm wrong for that, but there may be some doctor out there that's high, and he'll tell me, you know, oh well, it can help you medically. Then that's fine. But if you know that you're going to be training for that, and you don't take, you know, and you take part in it, then it's hard for me to feel sorry for you. I'm just wondering how Japan has said, hey, no one's going to be making social statements at these games. And I'm like, what are they going to do? They're going to punish you for this or whatever. I wish I had a social statement that I could make and I could win a gold medal, because I would go up and I would make my social statement just so I could see what the fucking government of Japan is going to do. If I were a world-class powerlifter, which I'm not, but if I were a world-class powerlifter and I could go in and I could, you know, I deadlifted 850 pounds and I won the world with the
it's kilograms.
Whatever the fuck it is. Fuck kilograms. Convert to American, assholes. The fuck is wrong with you? Anyway, no, I would literally go up there and be like, oh, what are you going to do? You're going to try to take my medal from me? Good luck. Good luck, bro. Take your little Japanese ass and go over there and do whatever the fuck it is you Japanese folks do. You're not taking my medal from me, and I'm going to have whatever the fuck my political statement is. I don't know. I'd love to have that, though. I need to go train to get into the Olympics real quick. What?
It's interesting, though, that you cannot compete in the Olympics if you smoke pot, but you can compete in the Olympics if you're a woman with a dick.
That is a very good point.
That's a very valid thing there too. And by the way, she's the first transgendered woman person in the Olympics. I don't get that story at all. That makes no fucking sense to me. Hey, bring your penis and do the Olympics. I don't get that. I think that the sad part about that is that the actual women that are there are gonna they're gonna be hindered by that, and we'll see if this transgendered person can compete. I mean, it's just, especially in powerlifting, it's just it's just not fair.
It's not.
I mean,
it's
just not fair.
It's going to be a story either way.
Hope somebody beats it.
Well, we'll figure out that, but you know how to put a stop to that, and I'm dead serious about this. If you want to put a stop to that, here's what you do. You go to insert small college here. Let's go to why don't we go with South Carolina Upstate, and you go to their women's program and you get you 10 basketball players that are men that saying, hey, we're making the transition. We decided we're going to be women, and let them play in the women's league and watch what happens. They will mop the fucking floor with everyone. You'll have South Carolina Upstate beating the South Carolina women's basketball team by 25 points. people out there, you know, hey, I identify as a girl now, and since I do, you have to honor that. That's how you end that, because then the whole world will see it. They have to see it and see that it's, you know, it just doesn't make sense. And once something like that happens, that's how all of this will come to an end. But then you got to figure out where do the transgender get to play? I mean, I guess we have to have a transgendered Olympics. That's the next thing. So,
right after the Special Olympics.
Good point, sir. Good point. All right. So donate to the show if you can. Help pay the StreamYard. We'll be back at it next week. Trying to bring you some good content here. Tell your friends about the show. And we're getting jacked up for football season. We're like 2 weeks away from SEC Media Days.
Woo!
I wonder how that's going to work out. We'll have to see. Looking forward to that. You guys have a great night. We'll catch you later on.
Good night.